Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to The Edward. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be discussing what I thought of not the latest but second to latest episode of House of the Dragon, which is episode 5. I know episode 6 dropped recently this past Sunday. I still have yet to watch it and catch up on the show, but I am caught up by episode 5. So since I haven't covered that episode yet, that is what I will be talking about in tonight's video. So chances are you've already seen this episode, but in case you haven't, spoiler warning is issued. I'll be talking spoilers, details, plot stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. So first and foremost, when you have an episode like episode 4, the previous episode where we had that exciting battle scene and we had characters die, we had characters get maimed or injured. Whenever you have a significant event episode like that, you have to have some kind of aftermath episode. Game of Thrones used to do it all the time. The Walking Dead did it all the time. I'm sure other shows have done it many times before too. But in recent memory, both Game of Thrones and Walking Dead are the two more recent ones that come to mind. Whenever they had a significant event go down in an episode, the following episode was usually an aftermath episode. We see how our characters deal with the aftermath or the fallout of the previous episode, and that's exactly what this episode was, an aftermath episode. We saw how characters on both sides reacted to the death of Rhaenys and her dragon, and the loss of Rook's Nest, and the loss of all those men, and the injuries of the king, of course. They brought back the head of Rhaenys' dragon, which just seemed incredibly disrespectful to me. And of course, rather than inspiring the people like I think Sir Criston hoped it would, it made them all fear and go, "Oh, a dead dragon, it's a bad omen." So it had the opposite effect of what he intended. And then, of course, we had a power vacuum occur. Am I saying that right? Power vacuum? Or a power filler, I should say, where the very guy who's partially responsible for the king's injuries is now acting as King Regent in his name while the king recovers, Aemond. To which Alicent isn't too pleased about, but the rest of the council seem easily swoon or won over by that fact. Clearly, she can tell that something happened, and Aemond knows a lot more than he's saying, and she wants to know what happened to her boy, the king. And Aemond may or may not tell her ever what really went down, and neither will probably Sir Criston for that matter. And then we saw what was happening on Dragonstone. Obviously, Rhaenyra is devastated at the loss. Rhaenyra is devastated at the loss of not only her blood, but a valuable ally as well. They felt it in her small council. Obviously, her granddaughters are upset. Her husband is upset. The sea snake. He's lost the love of his life. Even though his granddaughter, acting on behalf of Rhaenyra, offered him to be Hand of the Queen, he spitefully refuses it. He's like, "Oh, is this going to bring my wife back? Oh, is this going to make everything better, everything okay?" And then he seems to kind of snap out of it and decides to accept or embrace this new role. So how valuable of an ally he'll be to her for the rest of this season, I guess, remains to be seen. And then we saw other characters handling it and reacting to it in their own different way. So when you have such an episode like the one before this, you can expect the follow-up episode to be not as exciting. Still good, but not as exciting or as gripping as the previous one, because you got to have an aftermath episode. Now, the good news is you only need one aftermath episode. Now that this episode is over, I'm sure the next episode was much more exciting and a lot more intriguing. At least I assume and hope so. I haven't watched it yet, so I plan on doing so right when I'm done uploading this. But I liked this episode just fine. I thought it was a good aftermath episode. It was a good way to set the stage for what's to come for the rest of the season, I believe. and I'm looking forward to what the next episode has in store for us. But overall, I enjoyed this one a lot too, especially the potential of other dragon riders out there who may have Targaryen blood in their veins. Very exciting and cool concept. I like it. So what did you guys think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you love it? Were you expecting more, expecting less? Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments section. Have a wonderful rest of your night. House of the Dragon drops new episodes every Sunday on Max. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. Thanks again for watching. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.